Life often feels like an endless storm. The winds howl, the rain lashes down, and it seems as if the world is determined to break you. In these moments, when the darkness is thick and unrelenting, you may ask yourself, why me? Why now? Why this pain? But what if I told you that this storm is not the end but the beginning? That it's not meant to destroy you, but to prepare you for something extraordinary, something greater than you've ever imagined. The greatest transformations don't happen when the skies are clear and the journey is easy. They happen when every ounce of strength is tested, when every door seems locked, and when hope is all you have left. These are the moments when God is at work, shaping you, molding you, and building the foundation for a breakthrough so monumental it will change your life forever. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear could be the confirmation you've been waiting for. The signs are all around you if you know where to look. Have you ever noticed how just before dawn, the night becomes its darkest? How the stillness before a storm can feel the most oppressive? Life mirrors this truth. Often the moments when we feel the most lost, the most broken, are the moments just before God reveals His grand design. But here's the secret. These challenges, these tests are not random acts of hardship. They are intentional, divine preparations for something magnificent to break through. Let me ask you this. Have you been feeling an unexplainable heaviness, as if the weight of the world has suddenly doubled? Have you experienced unexpected delays, setbacks, or rejections that seem to block every path forward? Or perhaps you felt isolated, as if even those closest to you can no longer understand your struggles. These are not coincidences. These are signs, whispers from the divine that you are being prepared for something greater. But the road to greatness is not paved with ease. It is carved out of challenges, struggles, and trials. God does not hand out breakthroughs to the unprepared. He refines, reshapes, and fortifies those He chooses so that they can carry the weight of the blessings He's about to release. What if everything you're going through right now is not happening to you, but for you? What if the delay is God's way of aligning everything perfectly? What if the rejection is His way of redirecting you to something better? And what if the silence you feel is not abandonment, but the sacred stillness before His voice speaks into your life? You are not forgotten. You are being prepared. And today, I'm going to show you the 10 signs that God is getting you ready for a breakthrough. Watch closely. One of these might just be the confirmation you've been praying for. Sign 1. You feel a sudden and intense season of struggles. Struggles are not easy to bear, especially when they seem to arrive all at once. It's as if life itself conspires against you, testing every fiber of your being. You may lose sleep over the uncertainty of tomorrow. Bills pile up, relationships falter, and doors that once seemed open slam shut. It feels relentless, like wave after wave crashing against you, leaving you gasping for air. But here's the truth that many overlook. Struggles are often the first sign of divine preparation. God doesn't give His toughest battles to the weakest soldiers. He chooses those He knows can rise from the ashes, stronger and more determined. When struggles come into your life, they serve a purpose beyond your comprehension. These challenges are not meant to break you, they are meant to refine you. Like gold tested in fire, you are being purified. Every setback, every disappointment, every tear shed is part of God's plan to mold you into someone who can carry the weight of the blessings that are about to come. Think of a caterpillar before it becomes a butterfly. It wraps itself in a cocoon, and inside the dark, constricted space, transformation occurs. If you were to look at the process from the outside, it might seem cruel, a creature trapped, struggling against itself. But the struggle is necessary. Without it, the caterpillar would never develop the strength to spread its wings and fly. Your struggles are your cocoon. They may feel dark and suffocating, but they are shaping you for something greater. God uses struggles to teach us lessons we cannot learn in comfort. He uses them to reveal strengths we never knew we had. In your most challenging moments, He is teaching you resilience, perseverance, and faith. Each struggle is a step closer to your breakthrough. But here's the key. You must endure. You must keep going even when you feel like giving up. The breakthrough comes to those who refuse to quit, who refuse to let their struggles define them. If you're in a season of intense struggles, take heart. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Hold on, because the storm you're in is watering the seeds of greatness within you. The more the struggle, the greater the reward. Keep your eyes on the horizon and remember, the darkest nights produce the brightest stars. Sign 2. You experience repeated delays. Delays are frustrating. They test your patience and your resolve. You make plans, set goals, and work tirelessly, only to find that progress seems stalled. It's as if you're moving in circles with no clear way forward. The doors you knock on refuse to open, and the opportunities you've prayed for seem to be slipping away. But what if I told you that these delays are not denials? What if the very thing you see as a setback is actually God aligning the pieces for your breakthrough? Delays are a divine tool. They teach you patience, trust, and reliance on God's timing. In a world that thrives on instant gratification, we often forget the best things in life take time. A seed planted today doesn't bear fruit tomorrow. It takes seasons of nurturing, watering, and care before it yields a harvest. Similarly, God uses delays to prepare you, to strengthen you, and to ensure that when the blessing comes, you're ready to receive it. Consider this: what if the opportunity you're waiting for right now came before you were prepared for it? Would you be able to handle it? Would you be ready for the responsibility, the challenges, and the growth that come with it? God delays certain blessings because He knows that timing is everything. He knows that the right thing at the wrong time can be just as harmful as the wrong thing. During these delays, God is not idle. He is working behind the scenes, aligning people, circumstances, and opportunities in ways you cannot see. Like a master artist, He is painting a picture that, when revealed, will make perfect sense. But until then, He asks you to trust Him, to hold on, and to prepare yourself for what's coming. If you're experiencing delays, don't lose heart. Instead, use this time to grow. Work on your skills, deepen your faith, and refine your character. Delays are not wasted time. They are God's way of saying not yet, but soon. So be patient. The blessing you've been waiting for is worth the wait. Sign 3. You feel isolated or abandoned. Isolation can be one of the most painful experiences. When friends drift away, when support seems to vanish, and when even the people closest to you don't understand your journey, it's easy to feel abandoned. It's easy to believe that you're alone in the wilderness, forgotten and unseen. But here's the truth. Isolation is not abandonment. It's preparation. God often pulls us away from the noise of the world so we can hear His voice more clearly. He removes distractions, separates us from toxic influences, and places us in a season of solitude, not to punish us, but to prepare us. In the stillness, He speaks. In the quiet, He reveals things about ourselves and about Him that we could never understand amidst the chaos. Think of Moses. Before he led the Israelites out of Egypt, he spent 40 years in the wilderness. Think of David, anointed as king but spending years in solitude tending sheep. Isolation was their training ground. It was in the quiet, away from the crowd, that they developed the faith, the character, and the strength needed to fulfill their calling. And the same is true for you. In isolation, God is drawing you closer to Him. He's teaching you to rely on Him, to find your worth in Him, and to seek His guidance above all else. This is where intimacy with God is built. This is where your foundation is strengthened so that when the breakthrough comes, you are unshakable. If you feel isolated, don't despair. Use this season to grow closer to God. Listen for His voice. Seek His wisdom. This is not the end, it's the beginning. When God pulls you aside, it's because He's preparing to elevate you. Trust the process and know that even in isolation, you are never truly alone. God is with you, and He's preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. Sign 4. You face unusual opposition. Opposition is something we all encounter at some point, but when you're on the verge of a breakthrough, the resistance can feel overwhelming. It's as if the universe conspires against you, throwing obstacles in your path, challenging your every move, and testing your resolve. But here's a perspective you may not have considered. Opposition is often a sign that you're on the right path. The enemy doesn't bother attacking someone who poses no threat. If you're facing unusual levels of opposition, criticism, rejection, or even unexpected challenges, it's likely because you're stepping into something significant. You're becoming the person God designed you to be, and the enemy knows it. He knows the potential you carry and the impact your breakthrough will have, not just on you, but on those around you. Think of a seedling pushing through the soil. The ground above it is heavy, dense, and seemingly impossible to penetrate. But the seedling doesn't stop. It pushes against the resistance, growing stronger with every struggle until it breaks through and reaches the sunlight. That's what opposition does for you. It strengthens your character, deepens your faith, and prepares you to rise above the challenges. Sometimes opposition comes in the form of people doubting your abilities or criticizing your dreams. Their words may sting, and their lack of support may discourage you. But remember, the opinions of others do not define your destiny. God does. If He has placed a dream in your heart, no amount of negativity can take it away. Use the criticism as fuel to keep moving forward. Let it motivate you to prove that nothing can stop what God has ordained for your life. Opposition also reveals who you truly are. It tests your resilience, your determination, and your trust in God. When you face resistance, you have a choice to give up or to press on. Choosing to press on shows God that you're ready for the blessings He has in store. It's in the moments of opposition that your faith becomes unshakable and your vision becomes clear. So the next time you encounter unusual opposition, don't be discouraged. Instead, see it as confirmation that you're walking in alignment with God's purpose. The closer you get to your breakthrough, the more resistance you'll face. But remember this, opposition is not a sign to stop, it's a sign to keep going. Stay focused, stay strong, and trust that the struggle is part of the preparation for something extraordinary. Sign 5. You sense a deep inner restlessness. Restlessness is one of the most misunderstood feelings. It's that nagging sense that something isn't quite right, that you're meant for more, and that where you are now is not where you're supposed to stay. It's uncomfortable, unsettling, and sometimes even frustrating. But restlessness is not your enemy. It's a divine signal that God is stirring something within you, a call to prepare for the next chapter of your life. When God is preparing you for a breakthrough, He often disrupts your comfort. He stirs your spirit, making it impossible for you to settle for less than His best. You may find yourself dissatisfied with things that once brought you joy or contentment. Your job, relationships, or daily routines may no longer feel fulfilling. This restlessness is not because you're ungrateful, it's because God is pushing you to grow. Think of an eagle's nest. When the mother eagle senses it's time for her eaglets to fly, she begins to make the nest uncomfortable. She removes the soft feathers and padding, exposing the sharp branches underneath. This forces the eaglets to leave the nest and take flight. In the same way, God uses restlessness to push you out of your comfort zone. He knows you were made to soar, and He won't let you stay where you are when there's something greater waiting for you. Restlessness is also a sign that God is shifting your focus. He's redirecting your attention from the temporary to the eternal, from what's good to what's best. You may find that your priorities begin to change. The things you once valued, success, recognition, material possessions, may no longer hold the same appeal. Instead, you'll feel a pull toward something deeper, something more meaningful. This is God preparing your heart for the blessings to come. But restlessness can be confusing if you don't understand its purpose. It's easy to mistake it for discontentment or impatience. You may wonder why you feel this way or what you're supposed to do about it. The answer is simple: seek God. Restlessness is His way of drawing you closer to Him, of guiding you to a place where you rely on His wisdom and direction. If you're feeling restless, don't ignore it. Lean into it. Ask God what He's trying to show you, what He's preparing you for. Use this time to reflect, to pray, and to grow. Restlessness is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of potential. It's God's way of saying there's more for you. Don't settle. Keep moving forward. Remember, every great breakthrough begins with a sense of restlessness. It's the spark that ignites change, the whisper that leads to transformation. Embrace it, trust it, and know that it's part of God's plan to take you to places you've never imagined. The discomfort you feel now is nothing compared to the joy that awaits when you step into the fullness of God's purpose for your life. Sign 6. Opportunities seem to dry up. When opportunities seem to dry up, it's easy to feel forgotten or overlooked. Doors that once opened with ease suddenly shut, and the plans you carefully laid out seem to fall apart. It's a frustrating and disheartening experience. But what if this drought of opportunities is not a sign of failure, but a sign of preparation? What if God is clearing your path, not to leave you stranded, but to make way for something far greater than you could imagine? Imagine you are walking down a road with several side paths. Each side path looks inviting, but if you take one, you'll miss the destination that lies further down the main road. God often closes doors and dries up opportunities to ensure you stay on the path He has chosen for you. The distractions may seem appealing at first, perhaps a job that's good enough or a relationship that's comfortable but not right. These side paths are not your destiny, and God will remove them to ensure you don't settle for less than His best. Think of this season of scarcity as a divine pruning process. In gardening, a tree is pruned not to harm it, but to encourage stronger growth. Dead branches are removed to allow nutrients to reach the healthy parts. In the same way, when opportunities dry up, God is removing the distractions and dead ends in your life so that you can grow in the right direction. It may feel like loss, but it's actually preparation for abundance. During this time, you might feel tempted to force things to happen. You may knock on every door, apply for every position, or try to hold on to relationships that no longer serve you. But forced opportunities rarely lead to fulfillment. Instead, they lead to frustration and exhaustion. God asks us to trust Him. Even when the road ahead seems barren, He is preparing the right door to open at the right time, and it will be a door no one can shut. This season of dryness is also a test of your faith and patience. It's easy to trust God when everything is falling into place, but true faith is trusting Him when nothing seems to be working. Can you trust that the delay is part of His divine design? Can you believe that He is working behind the scenes, aligning people and circumstances in ways you can't yet see? Instead of focusing on what seems to be missing, focus on what God is doing in you. Use this time to prepare yourself for the opportunities that are coming. Build your skills, strengthen your faith, and refine your character. God may be delaying opportunities because He's working on you, making sure you're ready for the blessings He's about to release. When the right opportunity comes, it will be undeniable. It will fit into your life like a missing puzzle piece, bringing clarity and purpose. You'll look back on this season and realize that every closed door was part of the plan. Trust the process and know that God's timing is perfect. When opportunities dry up, it's not the end, it's the beginning of something extraordinary. Sign 7. You're being called to step out of your comfort zone. Stepping out of your comfort zone is one of the most challenging things you'll ever do. It's uncomfortable, unfamiliar, and often terrifying, but it's also one of the clearest signs that God is preparing you for a breakthrough. Growth and transformation don't happen in the safety of routine. They happen when you're stretched, challenged, and pushed beyond what you thought you could handle. Think of Peter stepping out of the boat to walk on water. The boat was safe, familiar, and predictable. But Jesus didn't call Peter to stay in the boat. He called him to step out into the unknown. And while the waves were high and the wind was fierce, Peter experienced a miracle the moment he trusted and took that step. In the same way, God is calling you to step out of your boat, to leave behind what is safe and predictable, and to trust Him in the uncertainty. Stepping out of your comfort zone is not easy. It will require you to face your fears, confront your doubts, and let go of control. You may feel unqualified, unprepared, or inadequate. But here's the truth. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. He equips you as you go, providing strength, wisdom, and resources exactly when you need them. All He asks is that you take the first step. This process is also a test of your faith. Do you trust that God will catch you if you fall? Do you believe that He will guide you even when you can't see the next step? Faith is not about knowing the entire plan, it's about trusting the one who holds the plan. When you step out of your comfort zone, you are telling God, I trust you more than I fear the unknown. And here's the beauty of it. When you step out of your comfort zone, you discover strengths and abilities you never knew you had. You grow in ways you never thought possible, and you become the person God created you to be. The comfort zone may feel safe, but it's also limiting. The real miracles, the real breakthroughs, happen when you're willing to take risks and embrace the unknown. If you feel God calling you to step out of your comfort zone, don't hesitate. It's scary, yes, but it's also exhilarating. It's where faith meets action, where trust meets transformation. And remember, God doesn't call you out to leave you stranded. He calls you out to take you higher. Step out and watch what He will do in your life. Sign 8. You see a pattern of unexplained favor. Have you ever experienced moments in life where things seem to fall into place in ways you couldn't explain? Perhaps a situation worked out just as you needed it to, or an unexpected blessing arrived at the perfect time. These moments of unexplained favor are not coincidences, they are divine markers. When God is preparing you for a breakthrough, He begins to show you glimpses of His favor, a signal that His hand is on your life. Unexplained favor is when circumstances align so perfectly that it feels almost too good to be true. You might find opportunities coming your way that you didn't ask for, doors opening that you never thought would. Maybe someone you barely know offers to help you, or a challenge you've been facing suddenly resolves itself without your intervention. These are not random acts, they are signs of God's presence and preparation. This favor isn't about luck or chance. It's about God working behind the scenes to position you for the next phase of your journey. He orchestrates the details, connects you with the right people, and sets the stage for your breakthrough. It's His way of showing you that He's in control, even when you don't see the full picture. But why does God show favor during this time? It's to build your faith and encourage you to keep going. Sometimes, the road to a breakthrough can feel long and difficult. You may question whether you're on the right path, or whether your efforts are worth it. Moments of unexplained favor are like divine breadcrumbs, guiding you and reminding you that He's with you every step of the way. However, favor doesn't always come in grand, obvious ways. Sometimes it's subtle, a chance meeting, an unexpected idea, or a small win that gives you the courage to keep moving forward. It's easy to overlook these moments if you're not paying attention. That's why it's essential to cultivate gratitude and awareness. When you recognize and appreciate God's favor, it strengthens your connection with Him and prepares your heart to receive even greater blessings. It's also important to remember that favor often comes with responsibility. When God blesses you, it's not just for your benefit, it's to equip you to bless others. He may give you resources, opportunities, or influence not for you to hoard, but to use for His purpose. This is a sign that your breakthrough is not just about personal gain, but about fulfilling a greater calling. So, when you see a pattern of unexplained favor in your life, take it as confirmation that you're on the right track. These moments are God's way of saying, keep going. You're closer than you think. Embrace the favor with gratitude, use it wisely, and trust that it's all part of His plan to prepare you for something extraordinary. Sign 9. You feel an overwhelming urge to let go of the past. Letting go of the past is one of the hardest things we're called to do. We hold on to memories, mistakes, and even people, believing they define us or provide us with comfort. But when God is preparing you for a breakthrough, He places an undeniable urge in your heart to release what no longer serves you. It's not because He wants to take something away from you, it's because He wants to give you something better. This overwhelming urge to let go often starts as a quiet whisper. You might feel a sense of unease when revisiting old habits or clinging to certain relationships. What once felt normal or even enjoyable now feels heavy, like a burden you can't carry anymore. This is God's way of nudging you, reminding you that you can't step into the future while holding on to the past. Imagine trying to climb a mountain while carrying a heavy backpack filled with unnecessary items. The higher you go, the harder it becomes to keep climbing. At some point, you have to make a choice. Let go of the weight or stay stuck where you are. The same is true in life. God is calling you higher, but to get there, you must let go of the baggage that's holding you back. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means releasing the power the past has over you. Maybe it's a mistake you made that keeps replaying in your mind, filling you with regret. Maybe it's a toxic relationship that drains your energy and peace. Whatever it is, God is asking you to trust Him enough to release it. This process can be painful. We often fear letting go because we don't know what's on the other side. The past, no matter how flawed, feels familiar. But breakthroughs require faith that what's ahead is greater than what's behind. God doesn't ask you to let go to leave you empty. He asks you to let go so He can fill your life with something new and better. Think of a river that's clogged with debris. The water can't flow freely until the blockage is removed. Similarly, when you hold on to the past, it creates a barrier to the blessings and opportunities God has for you. Letting go clears the path, allowing His grace and provision to flow into your life. As you feel the urge to let go, lean into it. Pray for strength and guidance. Ask God to help you release what you cannot release on your own. Trust that He knows what's best for you, even when it feels difficult or uncertain. And remember, letting go is not a one-time act, it's a journey. There will be moments when you're tempted to pick up old burdens or revisit familiar patterns. When this happens, remind yourself of the promises God has made. He has a plan for you, and it's a plan for hope, joy, and abundance. If you feel an overwhelming urge to let go of the past, don't ignore it. This is God's way of preparing your heart and mind for the breakthrough He has in store. Release the weight, step into the freedom He offers, and watch as He transforms your life in ways you never imagined. The best is yet to come. Sign 10. Your faith is tested like never before. There's a saying that faith untested is faith unproven. And when God is preparing you for a breakthrough, He will test your faith like never before. It may feel as though the ground beneath your feet is shaking, as if the very foundation of your beliefs is being questioned. The silence from heaven during these moments can be deafening, and the weight of uncertainty can feel crushing. But make no mistake, this test is not meant to destroy your faith, it's meant to strengthen it. When you're on the verge of a breakthrough, your faith becomes the centerpiece of God's work in your life. The challenges you face are not signs of abandonment, but evidence of divine preparation. Think of faith as a muscle. It only grows stronger when it's pushed, stretched, and tested. Without resistance, there is no growth. God allows these tests to draw you closer to Him, to deepen your trust, and to prepare you to handle the blessings He's about to pour into your life. Faith is often tested in the silence. You pray, you cry out, and yet it seems as if there's no response. The heavens feel closed and doubt creeps in. But what if the silence is not God's absence, but His invitation? What if He's calling you to trust Him, even when you can't see His hand at work? Faith is not about having all the answers, it's about believing in the one who holds the answers, even when everything around you feels uncertain. In this testing season, you may find yourself facing unexpected challenges. Relationships might strain, finances might dwindle, and doors you thought were meant to open might stay closed. These are not signs of defeat, they're opportunities for your faith to rise. God is teaching you to rely on Him completely, to find your security and peace not in circumstances but in His unchanging character. Consider the story of Abraham. God tested his faith by asking him to sacrifice his son Isaac, the very promise He had given him. It was an unimaginable request, yet Abraham obeyed, trusting that God had a greater plan. In the end, God provided a ram in place of Isaac, proving His faithfulness and rewarding Abraham's trust. This story is a powerful reminder that even in the most challenging tests, God is always working for our good. During this time, your perspective on faith will shift. You'll begin to see it not as a passive belief, but as an active living force. Faith will become your anchor in the storm, your light in the darkness, and your strength in weakness. It will sustain you when logic fails, when fear whispers lies, and when the path ahead seems impossible. One of the hardest parts of this testing season is resisting the urge to take matters into your own hands. When the waiting becomes unbearable or the challenge is too great, it's tempting to try to force solutions. But true faith requires surrender. It means letting go of control and trusting God's timing, even when it doesn't align with your own. It's in this surrender that breakthroughs are born. God's tests are never without purpose. They refine you, purify your heart, and prepare you for the responsibilities that come with His blessings. A breakthrough is not just about receiving, it's about becoming. It's about becoming the person who can steward the blessings well, who can handle the weight of the calling, and who can reflect God's glory in every aspect of life. If you're in a season where your faith is being tested like never before, take heart. This is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a transformation. The struggles you face today are strengthening the faith you'll need for tomorrow's blessings. Lean into God even when it's hard. Trust Him even when it hurts. And remember, He is always faithful, always good, and always working for your breakthrough. The beauty of a faith tested and proven is that it becomes unshakable. Once you've walked through the fire and come out on the other side, you'll carry a strength and peace that nothing in this world can take away. You'll know deep in your soul that God is who He says He is, and that He never fails His children. Hold on, for the testing of your faith is not a punishment, it's a preparation for the extraordinary blessings that await you. Every challenge you face, every delay you endure, and every test of faith is part of a divine process. It's not happening by accident, and it's certainly not happening to punish you. God is preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine, a breakthrough that will not only change your life, but also impact the lives of those around you. The signs are there if you look closely. The struggles that build your resilience, the delays that align you with God's timing, the isolation that deepens your connection with Him, and the restlessness that pushes you out of your comfort zone, all of these are preparing you for what's ahead. Even the opposition you face, the opportunities that seem to dry up, and the overwhelming urge to let go of the past are not obstacles, they are steps on the path to your breakthrough. Through it all, God is shaping you, refining you, and strengthening you. He is teaching you patience, building your character, and growing your faith. Each test and each trial is preparing you to handle the blessings He is about to release in your life. These blessings are not just about you, they are about His purpose for you, about the people you are meant to inspire, and about the impact you are meant to make in this world. So hold on. Don't give up. Don't let the darkness fool you into thinking that the light isn't coming. The struggles, the silence, and the tests are not the end, they are the beginning of something extraordinary. Your breakthrough is closer than you think, and when it comes, it will be worth every tear, every prayer, and every step of faith. Trust the process, trust His plan, and above all, trust that God is working all things together for your good. The best is yet to come, and your breakthrough is on the horizon. Stay strong, stay faithful, and watch as God transforms your trials into triumphs. This is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with purpose, blessings, and undeniable victory.